Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, or folks if you prefer to be called that. This is LaMarshall speaking, and today I've got a 6-player free-for-all Spawn Wars for you. I've never casted one of these before. So by the look of it, I hopped into a lobby, which just happened to have these players in it, and asked for a spectator slot. They kindly obliged. So, for those unfamiliar with Spawn Wars, like myself, you only get your spawn mechs, and or if it's not full with players, there's the odd other spawn that you can go to. I'm not sure if that's allowed in terms of the Spawn Wars rules. So it means you have to be very careful with what you spend your economy doing. So let's have a look at what the players are doing in their order. Right, in green over here we have Eladir, or Elodie, whichever you prefer. He's going for a couple of grenaders first. That is definitely interesting. He has got a fabricator out, of course, before doing so, just to capitalise on the eco he has available to him. Because why ever not? Because of course you need that eco, and he's even sending his fabricator up over to this site here. I'm assuming he is hoping upon hope that it is a free spawn, and if it is, which it is, he will be able to claim it with this glorious little fabricator here. So that's the little fabber that could, expanding from LED, but there is a docks here encroaching on his base as he builds his first vehicle factory here, which just gets shot down by a grenade there, because docks are absolutely hopeless now. There's a massive outcry saying, put the docks back in, but it seems as though they've been put back in as sort of eye candy, rather than actually anything of actual substance. So, going down to purple now as LED makes his second vehicle factory, we have Raise Lucas 2616. I'll just refer to as Lucas. Idle with his commander, not great. And a fair few units being produced. He's got a Stinger in there as well, just in case of any anti-air threat, and he's got fabricators coming out as well, so that'll be producing a few things. And or sending them off, because he has got this docks here, which has managed to scout that this is not occupied, so he's going to be sending his fabricator over to there to claim all of that, and he's even sending a little supporting party there, which is a great idea because it means you can claim that and defend yourself at the same time. However, LED is building a lot of vehicles, which is going to be slightly problematic for Lucas should he leave his main base undefended, but of course he has got his commander there, and that is a force to be reckoned with. Right, now to yellow on the other side of the North Pole here. We have Fleabot. Your interesting name. Another tank commander here. Got a few fabbers actually. That's quite a lot of fabbers for the amount of eco he has available to him. He is setting up shop in terms of the laser pointers there, the dual-barreled ones. Unfortunately, I think they have had a nerf in the latest patch, because you can spam them up and they don't really shoot very fast at all against things. So they're good against these sort of 1-2 unit raids, but once you get anything of substance, they're actually not so great unless you have substantial numbers of walls to defend. He has got some radar up as well, a couple of them, which is a little bit unnecessary given their range. So that's just going to be costing him a fair bit more energy than he'd probably need. And moving over to red now, as he spends out the docks there, we have Teddy Must Die. Why are you so mean to Teddy? Teddy must die? That's not very friendly at all, Teddy must die. Why must Teddy die? Teddy must die. I want to know why Teddy must die. Teddy must die. Anyway, moving on. Teddy Must Die has done something that we haven't seen the other players do yet, unless of course Orange or White have done so. He's got out a couple of combat fabbers. Now these things really build stuff fast, but you can see the impact they have on the economy of the player here. Absolutely destroying the energy and metal income there, but look how fast these are being produced. So those will fly up, and lots of Stingers coming out as well, and a couple of vehicle factories there producing the ants, or well, now known as scampers for no apparent reason. I bang my fist in frustration at the name of these things. And Teddy Must Die has also claimed one of the extra spawns here, and he's putting up a few laser turrets there, which is going to be really great to defend. He has got a combat fabber with him there as well, so maybe he might even make this a second base rather than just an economic expansion. Now, just before we go on to Orange or White here, we see Lucas moving his commander out. Is this a combom? I don't know, but Elodie's expansion here really hasn't worked very well for him at the moment, but he does have the one up to the north, which he is managing to get a radar up as well. He's got an Inferno here as well, so that's really going to be defending very nicely. But as soon as Red sees that he is here, he will be starting to try and counter this, because of course an opponent in Spawn Wars with more than one spawn is, well, let's say at a distinct advantage. If that... oh, he wasn't shooting at the Fabricator. I was going to say, if he was shooting at that Fabricator, that would really slow down that expansion rate. Now, onto Orange, we have plus shoot all, or and shoot all. Or just shoot all. There we are. He's obviously got a little bit of harassment going on here, lots of wreckage going on, and he's even reclaiming with his commander. Great idea. What on earth? He's doing the Macarena there by the look of it. I'm not even sure what's going on. I think he's attempting, yeah, he was attempting to reclaim that, so that's good. He got a little bit of mechs back from that, and he's now floating, so if he has a combat fab, does he have some combat fabs here? Let's zoom out and see if the icons are there. No, he doesn't. He could maybe produce a couple now, actually. He does have one mixed in with this little group over here to the left, but he really needs to be using his commander to build something like energy. There we go. Never have your commander idle, just even if it's just producing the longest line of energy that, you know, would put the Great Wall of China to shame. You know, just get it doing something, because it's such an advantage to be doing so. And here we see a massive green push coming in on purple now. Fortunately, we haven't had any too much substantial lag yet. But here comes the force now. Grenaders, docks, and ants. Don't see any docks in there, actually. It's the docks that are defending, that's what it was. And the Inferno's in there as well, ripping through those factories of Lucas. Main base is gone. Looks like Lucas only has his commander left now, which really isn't good for him. And of course, this also means that LED has claimed this spawn. Gosh, this is actually a really interesting game mode. This is the first time I've ever actually experienced Spawn Wars. It looks quite fun, actually. But the remainder of Purple's force is actually claiming this expansion over here. Well, Red is attacking him, but that commander can just about hold his own, I reckon, if he manages to pop off an Uber cannon here. So he has lost a Fabricator, which isn't great. It's a massive loss, given that he has only got the one. And there's the Uber cannon, taking out all of those units. 9 successful kills there, very nice. And Red even walling up and expanding here with the combat fab. And here, this is just a fabber and a combat fabber producing factories. That's, you know, just shy of the rate that the commander builds them. That's ridiculous for expanding purposes. Combat fabbers are a staple, just do not neglect them, but make sure not to overproduce them early on in the game, especially in Spawn Wars. Now here we see, looking back at Shootall here, we'll get to White in just a second. I know I've been neglecting him. But he is getting lots of combat fabs now, and he is coming under a little bit of threat from Elodie here, who is, of course, probably the most well-known player of the pick in this game. Competed in the Supernova Showdown, etc., etc. And I believe has got quite a win-to-loss ratio on the ladder at the moment, something like 48 to 12 or something like that. I'm not sure what the numbers are, but I heard it discussed yesterday. So we'll have to see how that works. So the commander here in the middle of the base, moving over a little bit to try and help, but Fabricators here desperately trying to get up the laser point, the point defense. Uber cannons going off, but of course they do take the refresh rate, so you have to be a little bit conservative with what you use them on, and 2 misses there is not great, especially for the energy consumption. But what is going on? He's shooting at the worst possible location. I don't even know. A little bit of lag coming in now, unfortunately. Right, getting over to White, because there is something interesting going on here. He's moving up to T2. Art thou mad? All of those Fabricators are apparently assisting the commander. And this is Smoky Castle here, by the way, folks. It is definitely going to be a smoking castle when it crumbles in flames and fire. Because with that many Fabricators and transitioning to T2, and in fact even ignoring the T2 factory now, it's not even being produced, so all of that investment is going to go to waste if he doesn't do something about that. No, not good. Yeah, have something building it, just one fabber. You need it. Please, before it starts. There we are. Not even... Well, something's... Yeah, they really think there's a glitch with the assist fabbers, but yeah, transitioning to T2 is not wise, especially... Whey! Something I missed there. Who was that? That was Purple. I think that was probably at his attempted expansion. Down here. Let's go into ChronoCam and see if we can find out where that was. I suspect it was probably around here. Yeah, it was. Just here is the Uber Cannons. There's quite a few bugs in the game at the moment, unfortunately. But yeah, there he goes. Whoa, that zoom out. Right, so looking around, we see Orange's base crumbling to Elodie now. But yes, as I was saying about T2, it just costs so much to build from those factories that it's just not worth the bother when you can just spam out the T1 instead of going to T2. And the only reason you would go to T2 is maybe get 1 or 2 fabbers and then just get tons of T1 fabbers assisting the T2 mechs and T2 energy, because it's just not, you know, it's not what you want to do. Just getting lots of T2 units, it's not a good idea. And there goes Orange. Shoot All is out of this game. LOD claiming a second kill. In fact, no, that was only his first. Currently it's 1 to LOD and Teddy must die. Still haven't found out why Teddy must die. Teddy must die. But yes, it looks as though those two Titans are going to be against each other eventually in the game. Yellow moving out with quite a few Docks and Grenaders here. Again, Docks aren't the wisest of choices because they just have such a low firing rate now. But with this army, if he can get close enough to this base, he could probably take out these two factories without LOD noticing. But I think LOD does have radar. Yes, he does. There they come in now. Of course, LOD is running a deficit on energy and power, so the dots on that radar are going to be intermittent and sporadic. Let's have another check there, see what he can see. Yes, the new build definitely does stir up the metagame somewhat. Basically, just rely on T1 and just spam out T1 like no tomorrow, and you'll be fine. And this is what I mean, getting a commander and a couple of combat fabs to produce a line of energy is just the best thing to do. Because you just end up, you know, 5 minutes later, ooh, where did 11,000 energy come from? But anyway, there we are. Now this army here from Fleabot isn't doing what is wise. Look at the slow projectiles from those docks. Just blimmin' hopeless. And against Infernos, they let the Infernos get too close. Really not very good micro there from Fleabot. LOD just charging in there. Fleabot losing most of that army, and all of it now, in fact. That's another thing. Ants just outmatch anything bots now. Ants and Grenaders and Infernos are just the best mix at the moment. It's like the PA death ball, it really is. Now here, LOD versus Teddy must die. Maybe Teddy must die, Teddy must die. Or maybe Teddy must die. There we go. This is just getting more and more crazy as we go into the game. Right, so LOD now got an army to combat Teddy must die. Looks like Teddy must die might die. I have to apologise. Right, anyway, moving on. Yeah, White's still only just about managing to... in fact, it looks as though he's cancelled this factory again. What? I think this Pharaoh should be working on it, but I'm not sure if that's me lagging. Yes, it is. Just a smidgen there. Sorry about that. That was just a connection lost because that's my internet, because I'm back at my uni location. So as I was looking around, we haven't seen any other fatalities yet. LOD's still moving his army across, managing to take out this little bit here. But he's got a couple of armies now converging on Teddy must die. It looks as though maybe Teddy must die really might die here with a great amount of necessity. But going back over to White, which is where we were looking at before, he's just managed to get up his T2 vehicle factory, and you see the economic requirements of that. Minus, no, that's the wrong thing I'm looking at now, minus 77 or something like that. But the power requirements, I mean, all of this assisting, and look how fast it's going up. It's really not. This is where combat fabbers kind of help a little bit. But getting out vehicle fabbers up the yin-yang there, yellow pinging for some reason. Sure why, but yeah, you see the economic requirements. He has got one Faber out, I believe, unless that was just the sort of parallax of being around the planet and it looking as though it was out but still in the factory. Yeah, indeed, it was still in the factory. But LED now claiming all of these spawns, getting up massive powerhouse of eco there. 170 metal, massively outdoing anyone else. And there goes red. A little bit of lag. Let's have a look at that. LED claiming another spawn. This is another thing, the commander seems to really not be very good against T1 units anymore because they're so easily spammed. So easily spammed, but again they are infernos, and stingers just can't counter them because they shoot at air, not at ground. I mean, if you don't see your opponent going air, don't build stingers. Unless, of course, well, I mean, in spawn wars like this, you tend not to go air anyway because it's just a bit of a lost cause, especially with the latest patch, because air has been nerfed massively in the latest patch as well. Here we see a massive engagement, docks and grenaders all over the shop. Going on like, I know tomorrow there, projectiles missing left, right and centre, projectiles, what? A bit of debris going off into space. Something going on there, LED's army being absolutely decimated in this engagement, absolutely. And you might even see Fleabot make a little bit of a push into LED's base here, but of course LED does have just massive production now. So it's going to be a massive losing battle for Fleabot here because it's a home battle turf, and indeed most of that army is now gone. LED going to be able to push back towards yellow now, which is over here a little bit. Or is that green as well? I think that's green as well there. Yellow is somewhere over here. Or is that also green? Nope, that is yellow. This is what remains of Fleabot's base here. Goodness. Right, going back into regular camera mode there. But yeah, there's just so many armies of green now all over the map, and he's claimed so many spawns, and that is really what you want to do in Spawn Wars. If you see an empty spawn, go claim it and fight over it, because that's all there is for you to actually advance. So it remains between green, yellow and white is wasting his eco on T2, which I don't think he realises is not the way to go. So I think white is definitely not going to survive very long against LED the moment he actually decides to move in. And yellow also is not going to be able to survive very much because of the economic differences. Let's have a look at the production tab here and see what's the difference between LED and Fleabot is. 339 to 49 mobile units, 16 factories to 5, and almost double the army value. That's absolutely horrendous. Little hope here for Fleabot. But of course we're always on the side of the losing side, because that's just the way we are. As the armies from LED now form up on the horizon from Fleabot's spawn, we can but watch and wait. And here we go now, moving in. Really not a favourable matchup. Lots of docks. I mean, the latest patch grenaders are just the way to go. Docks don't shoot fast enough, really. I think they shoot like once every second or something like that, which isn't great. The ants just shoot like ridiculous amounts, and when they're in a death ball like this with infernos and grenaders, it's not all that much you can do. Fleabot calling GGs, a little bit overzealous with the GGs there, 3 of them. Good game. Must have really enjoyed himself. But the commander sort of stuck in the middle there, behind a mech's storage, surrounded, zooming away there a little bit as he gets focused down on, and kaboom, any second. There he goes. The army is gone, and now all that remains is for LED to clear up the T2 rusher, because of course T2 rushing is not wise in this. He is getting out energy, but of course with that many Fabbers, you can take on a commander? Yeah. No. I mean, yeah. Let's just say that. They do not need a T3. I refute that comment with utter certainty there. I do not believe T3 is actually going to be in the game, so we don't even need to worry about that. You can win with Fabbers, says Shoot All the other players seem to still be spectating. Lucas is just having a laugh there. Elodie now surrounding on 3 sides as Smoky Castle's commander is sat a little bit too far into the open here. Trying desperately to get up that T2 power. This is not going to work very well for him at all, really, is it? Oh dear, I think is all I can say to this. And he's only just managed to get out another Fabber. Yay, we have a Sheller. We have a Sheller in some form of defence, actually. That's scared Elodie off, so he's probably going to be wanting to reform that, get the Infernos in front, which is indeed what he has done. They will soak up the damage of all those towers. They will tear through the walls as well. Get rid of the towers there as well. And just streaming in from all sides. Zerg-Rush, and there is the commander explosion in the side of a crater. Phenomenal. Zerg-Rush! Let's have a look at Elodie's spawn before we get booted out of the game here. Lots and lots and lots of factories. That's the way it needs to be, folks. Just get lots of T1 factories. Anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, have a nice day.